Hey Nicholas and all the Supernatural fans. Today I'm kind of shooting a strange video here in our, what I call our parts lot. And this video is going to show everybody, because a lot of people request, they're wanting a price list on what it will take to fix their cars. And as I've said many times over and over and over again, that each car is different, so each car is going to have a different price list. The things that Dawn and I and Michael look for when these cars come in is like, what kind of shape are they in? And so here's my car sitting over here, out here in our parts lot, waiting to be done. Looks like a pretty nice car, but it needs several things. And then we got a parts car here, and then I've got another parts car back over there, all 67 four-door hardtops. So what we're going to start with is the windshield. Okay, so the windshield is out of this one, but what we're looking at for is down here in this lip. And I'm probably, see how those big holes in it? It's all rotted out around there. Just rot all the way through. And sometimes that's very hard to see because your windshield is basically laying up against this. And what's caused that is that the old seals have rotted out, rains come down, and it's just collecting moisture there, and over the time it rots out. So if this was something that we have to fix, this whole piece right here, all the way across this thing, is going to have to be remade by hand. And the problem is, if this metal up here is weak and thin, when we try to weld that on, it burns through. So it can be a real pain in the ass to do that, okay? So that's one of the things we're going to look at. We're going to talk about the windshield. How does that car look? So we're going to come over here to mine. And now I know I've got dirt in here, but you can start to see that rot right in there. So that means that, now I don't know if you guys can see this from the camera and stuff, but I can start seeing that rot right down in there. So I know that this is going to need to at least be fixed. So there's an upcharge, and we got to hand form that metal because unfortunately they do not make this piece here. Wish they did, because that would save us. The next thing is vinyl top compared to a non-vinyl top. This car here was a vinyl top. I've taken the vinyl top off. Actually, this is pretty good. It's got a few little things in it right here, but coming down here to the back end, you can see where, there's a hole right there and water gets down in there. This car needs trunk pans. I knew that, not an issue. They make the trunk pans, and actually the trunk pans are a pretty nice fit. One way you can always tell that you probably had a vinyl top car at one point in its life is if you see this this divider here. If you see that divider, that means that's what separated the paint from the vinyl. So this car here was a non-vinyl top car, and actually the roof is really good on this one. This might be a roof that we take off to use on Cassie's car. So anyway, this A-post right here is actually really good shape, okay? So we've cut one out. I'm going to come over to the other side of the car. We've cut an A-post out of this car. See, that's all missing there. Because on Bradley and Mary Camp's car, Veninator, that car was all rotted. So we just cut it out, and it's going in there. So we need to know how the A-post look. So we're looking at the windshield and now the A-post. We've already cut the section out of this one back here. So another thing that we're going to look for on these cars is this piece right here. And this is what the weather stripping is setting in. And they do not make this piece, guys. So like this car here, not too bad. Not too bad at all. And so we could cut this out and use it in somebody's car. If we don't have an extra parts car to use on that, then we got to hand form this. So that's something that we look at. Back glass, let me come back over here to this car. This is a parts car that has been around a few times. So back glass, look at that. See how that's just rotted out right back there? All the way across that. So once again, like when I showed you on my car with the windshield or the back glass still sitting in there, you start seeing that rot. This is usually what it's going to look like. Now, probably not this bad, but then again, like on Bradley and Mary Camp's car, the Venator, what this was like that. And what somebody had done was just taken fiberglass and they covered all that. So that's not a way to fix anything. So basically what we had to do is cut one off of the 67 sitting right over there and this whole panel piece. So that way they had an all good piece because it was actually a good piece. We've had to cut a quarter panel off this. Now, when we're looking at the quarter panels, the aftermarket quarter panels that they make, they're kind of usable and then they're kind of not. They're not really made for a 67, they're more made for a 68. And I know a lot of people are going, oh, but Rick, it's the same. They're not the same, okay, guys? 67 and a 68, though they look alike, they're different. And this piece down here, when I refer to thing as the dog leg, this here is the dog leg. This sits behind your rear door, passenger door, and your wheel well where your tire and wheel are. So this is the dog leg. And if this is rotted out on your car, now like this one here, we can take this off and use this because we have a parts car. But if not, once again, has to be hand formed. And you know, for even us to come out and cut this off and everything, that takes a lot of time to do this stuff right. We're not just, you know, putting stuff on with bubble gum and, you know, it takes a while, and so that up charges your cost of your car. Like, okay, here's a good example. Where the weather stripping goes on this trunk, that thing is just rotted out right there. So, as you can see, all rotted out. And if yours is looking like that, guess what? You know, like I said, we got some over there we could use, but an upcharge. So, when we're looking at these cars, you know, they always rust right out here in the bottom quarter panels, both sides. We're not concerned about that, okay? The quarter panel patches that we can get, they only come here to about the center of the wheel well, okay? And they come up and then they go over. So we can use some of that, but if it's on this side, the front side of the wheel well, that's gonna have to be, you know, stolen off another car or something, because rockers, I don't know if they even make rockers for the four-door. Usually they do not rot out, but if they do, we've never really had one, I don't think it's come in here with rotted out rocker panels, but we have rocker panels on these cars because they're pretty good. Floors, this one obviously would need new pans. This car obviously is not something that we're going to save. This is a parts car, okay? So we'll rob every little thing off this thing we can, and then it's going to go to the crusher. The frame's really good on this one. I'm probably going to use the frame on my car. I swore I'd never do a frame off restoration for my car, but it's going to be easier for me to build this frame, and then I'll just set the body on it. So I'll get my Hotchkiss suspension and, you know, everything set up, and I don't have to, you know, I got all the free space, and I'll make it look old because I like my things to look old, and then I'll just drop the body on there and away we'll go. So what we're looking for, once again, is how's that front windshield look? Well, that one's rotted out, you know, right there. A post. And then in the trunk area, you know, how's that lip right there looking that goes around that? Is it going to need to be replaced? Does it need some patch panels? How's the dog leg look? How does the, you know, above the wheel well look? Rockers, you know, floor pans, what are they looking like? I need, you know, up close videos on those. If your car is coming from the East Coast, chances are it's going to be pretty rotten, okay? And the reason for that is the weather out on the East Coast, they use a lot of salt and stuff on the roads. 50 years of time, up underneath here, rot stuff out. And here's an A-post. See how that one's just rotted out right there? Because I'm trying to get out of my shadow and stuff here in the sun. But that's just all rotted out all the way down. So that A-post would be toast. The top is actually pretty good on this. If we need to scavenge this top, we can. But this was a vinyl top car. How do we know it was a vinyl top car? You can see where the divider, you know, that molding went across there. But vinyl top cars just really rot out really bad, so we don't like vinyl top cars. When we're looking underneath the hood, we're going to come over to my car. So what I want to see is when you guys are looking at your cars, if you want to send me videos or something like that, you find one for sale and you're all excited, and when you go to take videos or pictures of it, open up the hood and then look up underneath here on the hood. Okay, see how that one's all rust free? There's no rot in it. That's a good hood. Okay, if it's, you know, if it has some holes in it, you know, like up here and stuff like that, or over here, that's okay. That's okay. That's something that can be patched. But if this lip is all gone because of moisture's got up in there and rotted out the back side of that, we're going to need a new hood. Okay, so when you look at your hoods, look at that, the back side. So you open up the hood and then just put your head up in here and say, hey, how does that look? And that is a good solid hood right there. Yeah, there's some surface rust on it and what have not. We don't care about that. What we do care about is if this inner structure here has been eaten out with rust and moisture and stuff, it's just junk, guys. It's just junk, so we'll have to get a new hood. Deck lids, same thing. When you open up your trunk, what we're looking at, see how this is all rotted out here and all rotted here? This is just the same thing as you open up your hood on your car. You open up your trunk lid and look up there and see if it's rotted out. So we're going to come around over here and then look at that. That's just rotted out. So that means this trunk lid here is no good. It's a shame, you know, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So would we trash this trunk lid right now? No, because we might need to take a piece off it where it is solid, like right here, for instance, or back here, or up here in this corner, something. We really don't throw away anything until there's nothing left that we can steal off of it. So that's just kind of giving you some ideas what, you know, when we come looking at cars and stuff, you know, if you come to a car, and I guarantee you, if it's rotted out up here, it's going to probably be rotted out on the bottom side. Now you can see there is no bottom side of this car because Don has taken this out and it has been used for another car in the shop that was rotted out. Like I said, Bradley and Mary Cam's car. So a post are very important. Front windshield is really important. There's just things that, these are things that we need to look for, okay? Yes, we can put in floor pans and trunk pans and stuff like that. It's going to cost. That takes a lot of time. Everything's got to be perfectly straight and stuff. You just can't slap them in there and go welding up. Everything's got to be the way it was coming out of factory. So with that being said, if your items on your car, everything I just mentioned, if everything's bad on your car, that is a parts car. You probably don't want to spend the money to do that. Like when this one came in, we bought this sight unseen and we thought, oh yeah, you know, we probably have a car that we can do up, and it came in and it was rotted out. And so now this has become a parts car, and it's going to save our butts. You know, we're going to get our money out of it plus some, which is good because we're going to need these parts. Core supports, for those of you that you're not real big in the car, this is your core support coming across here. Now, so let me move this here. So see how that's all rotted out down there? And this is in the inner fender well, okay? For the passenger side front, be the right side front fender, and it's all laid out there. Why is that laid out there? That's because that's where your battery sets. And over the years, the battery acids got down in there and it's just eating that out. You come over here to the other side, this is perfectly fine. No battery sets over there. So that wheel well is toast, but you know, the fenders can be saved, There's parts on this car that we can actually use. Grill, probably the fenders. We could probably salvage these fenders, maybe, or at least parts off them if we need to. We got a new cowl or a different cowl here. We got a fan shroud. We've already robbed a brake line and stuff off the white car over there and a quarter panel. So, which might look, you know, people look at this and go, what a piece of crap. Yeah, it is. But this piece of crap makes us money, and it saves people a lot of like, oh, now we got to find this or we got to find that. We can come out here and pull it off these cars. So with that being said, guys, when you're looking at your car or looking at a car that you're thinking about buying, these are the things that you really, really want to pay attention to. And I know that over the years, especially here in the last few years, prices on these cars are skyrocketing. And unfortunately, that's not going to come down. There's people out there saying, oh, these cars here in a few years, it's going to happen. It's not, okay? It's just not. It's already hit the pop culture status. It's not going to happen. So here's a 68 that we have, and we're going to be robbing pieces off of it, door skins, stuff like that. So we can use the dog leg off this. We could use the roof, no fenders because it's different. But anyway, Nicholas, okay, here's like a hood on a 68. That hood up there is good. You know, it's actually a good hood. And here's the outside of it. So if anybody's needing a 68 hood, we got one. But there you guys go. This is what we're looking for. And if you always have questions, send me pictures, videos, and I will walk you through and tell you, hey, I wouldn't go over this price on this car, blah, blah, blah. I'll try to help you out all I can. Nicholas, I hope this helps you out. And shoot me a video of your car and that kind of detail showing me these things I need to see. And we'll get you a better quote on your car, okay? Talk to you guys later. Bye.